people generally vote Democratic or are known to vote Democratic? What do you think drives that trend?
Well, there's a couple of things there, and um, I'm not going to say the person's name that told me this, but somebody gave me some information that I kind of want to bring into the mix. 70% of those who make under $30,000, below $30,000, do not vote at all.
Mm,
70%. And we know there's an issue with poverty in the community. So
yes.
a lot of us simply do not vote at all.
Mm,
And out of the ones that do vote, you got to understand who's voting and why. People that make a lot of money sometimes, they kind of feel like they kind of feel guilty about their station in life, and
mm,
they want to do more for the quote unquote little guy. So they're going to vote Democratic because of social services, EBT welfare, WIC, TANF, all that kind of stuff. They want to vote for that. They think that the Democrats are for the poor, quote unquote,
okay.
which doesn't make any sense because okay, if a party represents the poor, then like if they're for the poor, why would you want to vote for them? You want to vote for the party that'll make you get more money, that'll kind of advance you in life. I don't understand. It's like they automatically um they link Democratic to poor, which again doesn't make any sense. But that's a lot of the reason why they do it. Also because of peer pressure, social pressure.
Okay.
Um, if you vote Republican, you are all these racial slurs. I don't want to say in your channel, but you're all these things. You're a
Mm,
bad person. You hate black people. It's the shaming. It's the guilt. It's like if you don't vote Democrat, then you're not one of us. You
mm,
know, your family's going to turn against you. So it's social pressure, peer pressure, all of that wrapped in it, and thinking you're doing the right thing for the so-called little guy, although you're not. And it's just kind of like tradition.
mhm.
My mom vote Democrat, my dad vote Democrat, granddad, everybody, I'm gonna vote Democrat. They don't really go far too back. They don't go too far back in history though. They don't talk about the great granddad and great great granddad who they voted for. They
Okay.
might go back to the granddaddy at best in the 1950s and 60s, them voting Democrat and stop right there. But they don't really go too far beyond that.
Okay. But could that be just because, black people weren't able to vote for quite some time? Do you think that has something to do with it?
Well, we could vote because that's something else I was talking about on my live stream. I had a caller kind of challenge me on voting. I was like, okay, when did we get the right to vote as black people? We said in the 1960s. It's like, no, that's not true. That's when the Voting Rights Act passed in 1964, I believe, civil rights era, or 68, one of those in the 60s. All that did was eliminate some of the things that may have been a hindrance to blocking, that it may have been a hindrance to black people voting, like some of the poll taxes,
Jim
some of the
Crow.
random essays and questions you had to fill out in order to be able to vote. But those practices were not everywhere. They weren't all over the country. You could vote as a black person just fine, and in the majority of the country, there were some blocks here and there, but you could vote. We voted Republican majority. We mostly voted Republican until the civil rights era. That's when things changed. Right around 50s, mid 50s, mid 60s, we started to go more Democratic. LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson, the president, said, "I'll have those N-words voting Democrat for 200 years." When he passed the Great Society and all the welfare bills and whatnot, when that happened, we turned more toward voting Democrat because we wanted the benefits from welfare, from the so-called free money. But ever since then, the community has gone downhill. So it's not been a good, change to vote Democrat. But the reason is because we wanted the benefits, not because we couldn't vote. We could vote. We voted more for Republicans, and then we switched in the 60s.